Hello and welcome to all the cards on the table. This is a short summary of the in-depth guide that I did for the full moon in Gemini that's happening on the 7th and 8th of December 2022, depending on where you live. This will be happening at 16 degrees and 1 minute of Gemini, where the moon will be conjunct Mars opposite the sun in Sagittarius. Here are the cards that I pulled in the general collective reading, and I wanted to give a quick summary of the messages coming through, as well as a brief breakdown of the astrology. If you enjoy what's here and it resonates, please do check out the in-depth guide and also the all 12 signs video that will break down the astrology even further on a personal level, depending on your rising sign. So this is where we're at. This Four of Cups, this sense of disappointment, this sense of apathy and regret. This is where we are at collectively. The world that we're living in isn't living up to our expectations. There's so much coming. There's so many difficult things hitting us all at one time that it might be easy to look into the past and see what we might have missed out on. However, the important thing about this card is you see here the Ace of Cups is being presented to the figure, although they can't quite see it yet. They're still in this state of apathy. They're not moving. They're sitting down. They're in a state of rest. But this is a card that is showing us that new possibilities are coming in by providing us a new context of our life and drawing us into a space of gratitude. Let the difficult feelings pour through you and release them in order to bring in this new state of emotions. Now, this is Mars doing a deep revamp with our unconscious and our moods and our feelings that's represented by the moon. Gemini is where we collect information. It's the way we talk to ourselves, this sense of duality. Mars is helping us navigate this retrograde, because Mars is at the midpoint of its retrograde during this full moon, and helping us understand how we collect information and then how we put it into action. So we are being asked by Mars right now to address how we motivate ourselves through our thoughts. So rather than just sitting on the ground, although arguably during this retrograde we will be revisiting until the 12th of January when Mars goes direct, but we're here to explore and create a new context for ourselves. We also have the Death card in reverse. This is about being stuck in old habits. It's about limitations of outdated beliefs and ideas. We're collectively reluctant to change. It's difficult. There are so many things going on right now. It's interesting that Death has been turned up the right way, that we are heading to a space of deep transformation with this full moon. There's also, we have the Ten of Swords in reversed. Now, I feel like a lot of us may be feeling like the Ten of Swords during this retrograde. Gemini is an air sign, which represents the mind and how we communicate. And these swords are the air. Sorry, the words are falling out of my mouth. So when the Ten of Swords is reversed, it's all this attacking, this debate, this hot-headedness of Mars being in Gemini retrograde. The swords will fall out of the back. It's about resurrection. And along with the Death card, this is showing us a deep way of how our mind talks to ourselves, and how that communicates out into the world and gives us a new context in order to bring in this new state of being. So Mars can represent the immune system. And when we have a healthy immune system, we have a healthy mind. And I really feel that what's happening with this full moon is a culmination period. I forgot to mention, if you haven't seen one of my videos before, energies move through my body. I am not clicking. This is independent of my conscious thought. I'm now clicking above my head. representing this transformation of the mind. So we have the moon, Mars and the sun at 16 degrees, at 14 degrees of Sagittarius, which is 2 degrees away from the sun. We have the Great Attractor. And the Great Attractor is a phenomenon out in space that is beyond the Milky Way, that is pulling a vast amount of galaxies towards us. It's bringing in energy that is beyond our sense of knowing in this 3D solar system that we're in. Now, the two of wands upright represents being a bit bored, having dominion over your space, but you've kind of completed everything. The figure is looking out, holding the world in his hand, with that sense of completion, but looking out into the ocean, to the great unknown, the cosmic sea, and looking, wanting to go on a new journey. Now, the Two of Wands in reverse represents jumping into a new experience, having been in an unpleasant situation. It's a combination of wonder and fear, but excitement and leaping into the unknown. We also have the Page of Cups. Now, I feel that this is linked to where Venus is at. So Venus is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, which is the degree of the galactic center, so the center of the Milky Way, which has powerful cosmic energy that is being highlighted right now. So the energies, we have 4 planets out of bounds at the moment. We have Mars, the Moon, Mercury, and Venus, and they are out of the boundary of where the sun is capable of rising and falling. When planets are out of bounds, this can represent maverick energy, going beyond that which is known, and being able to bring these ideas into the collective. So we have a lot of galactic energy at the moment that will be with this full moon, that is helping us bring in new inspiration. That's the sun in Sag, of our personal philosophies, with the moon and Mars in Gemini being able to bring that into the day-to-day and help us break down break down and understand and facilitate a way of how our emotions can connect to our actions for the positive on a collective level. We have Mercury at 1 degree of Capricorn, which is the final earth sign, and it's about tradition and long-term planning in the 3D realm. So we have a lot of facilitation with these planets and these energies from the collective. So I'm going back to the Page of Cups, which is it's bringing in psychic messages. It's asking us to look to imagination. We have another cup here with a fish in it that represents imagination. So it's about big dreams, being heralded in, a real change, thinking outside of the bounds, outside of the box, not being able to contemplate that which we have no knowledge of practicality. We also have, and I feel that this is all the galactic energy coming to help us out, we have the King and Queen of Wands, we have Temperance, and we have the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles came out when I was talking about galactic energy, especially with Saturn. So usually with the outer bounds planets, they can be a bit wild and a bit unpredictable, but we have this lovely trine with Mars and the Moon with Saturn in Aquarius. The Six of Pentacles represents the giving of a gift from a place of authority, or a mature sense of maturity. So we're having Saturn really bring a sense of, as I said, maturity, and we also have the King and Queen of Wands, and that's also another level of maturity, being helping us being able to bring these gifts that we will receive with this transformation into our day-to-day. So the King and Queen of Wands, this is fire energy. I link this to it could be linked to the sun, but I'm linking this more to the galactic energy that's coming in, this because they're closer to the center of the universe. Arguably they have a stronger connection with the tapestry, the play that we're in. They have a higher understanding, a closer connection, because they are nearer to the essence of the universe. There's a sense of vitality, of adventure and courage, and an appreciation of life, where we've come from this card, which is the apathy, the seeing nothing around you that can bring you joy. And we have here this wonderful, fiery, passionate, bold energy of the King and Queen of Wands, helping us really appreciate our existence regardless of what's going on out in the world. This sense of being self-assured, this being able to bring powerful dynamic solutions into our current 3D reality, like a real social responsibility, this controlled fire, this positivity and creation energy that's really helping us have the drive to move forward despite what is apparent in our 3D reality. So we also have Temperance, which is about teamwork, and we have an angel here, and depending on how you look at how your personal philosophies are, angels can just represent a higher perspective or a connection to God or the divine. But we have here teamwork. And the word temperance in Latin comes from mixing and combining properly. It's about drawing into lots of different elements. It can be from the outside world, but it also can be about yourself. I feel about, with Mars and the Moon in Gemini, about the mind. We're able to integrate and draw in every bit of aspect of ourselves, despite the fact that we might feel conflict within ourselves. It's about finding compassion and love and bringing these things together so they can all work in harmony. Temperance is also alchemy. It's about finding that sweet spot of all the elements together to bring about a sense of joy or calm in any situation. Bad situations can arise. It's how we deal with them. It's assessing them as they come along with the proper response. But I really like that this is teamwork, both on a collective level and an individual level. So we have this, what I see as some higher energy coming in to help us navigate this. I feel like this is a great, it's a reboot of our internal way of looking at ourselves. Sagittarius is about your personal philosophies. It's about travel, the wandering, the exploration of the other, the things that you are not familiar with. The Wheel of Fortune also came up in the upright position. And this is fated to change, that is arguably out of our hands. These energies that are coming through with the full moon, we did not have personal control or agency over this happening, although depending on how you look at it, we're all the vessels of the universe manifesting themselves. So arguably, in a way, we do. This is about being able to adapt and finding a greater understanding of life. And watching the world unfold around you with this higher perspective. We have, with the Wheel of Fortune, we have all the fixed. We have Taurus, we have Leo, we have Aquarius, and we have Scorpio, but as the Phoenix. So this is about how it's funny that it's fixed, but it's the Wheel of Fortune, that everything changes and therefore everything is fixed, if that makes sense, because change is also an inevitable aspect of our lives. So that's that's where we are and where this full moon is going to take us. And finally, we have these wonderful cards that came up. It was very interesting that not many sword cards came up, because we're dealing with Gemini, which is a mental sign, which is represented by the swords. But I see these other cards coming up as where we're headed in the material plane. Sorry, the energies just wanted to do this for you. So we had I'm trying to make this quick, guys. I do apologize. So we have a lovely square with Venus and Jupiter, and I used an example of an Irish politician who helped found or participated in the early years of the UN, Amnesty International, and the Council of Europe. So that's really bringing in the harmony and the abundance and acceptance of Venus and Jupiter with a square that it's manifest in the 3D world, which is a Mars aspect. And helping really bring the ideals of those. And he had that in Sagittarius, Venus in Sagittarius, and Jupiter in Pisces. So that's really letting us focus on what are our ideals for the collective of our personal philosophies and our sense of connection to the all. So this card came through, and this is the Ace of Pentacles, and I had a real direct thought in my head that was New Earth. We're bringing in New Earth. We're walking through a gateway, and how we can manifest that is by doing the inner work, clearing the mental frustrations, the pettiness, the anger, and the where's the card? The anger and regret. These emotions that don't necessarily push us forward, but keep us in a space of survival, that we're clearing those out in order to help us do the inner work so the outer world reflects and changes in that way. So the Ace is the foundation of worldly things. It is the beginning of a new cycle in the 3D realm. You have what you need. This is what the Ace is showing you. You may not necessarily know how that's going to manifest with the Ace, but we are walking through that portal into a new perspective of how the world can manifest around us on an individual and a collective level. We also have the 10 of Pentacles, the Sun, and the 9 of Pentacles. So the 10 of Pentacles is about investing time and energy into the long-term goals. It's about co-creation. If you can see, there's quite a few figures on the 10 of Pentacles. We have the ordinary life here of these two people talking to each other. And then we have this figure in this amazing coat, which represents the esoteric, the magical in the world, and how these are all combined with one another. They are in unity with one another. It's about bringing your day-to-day practices and philosophies. This is Gemini and Sag combined, and bringing them into manifestation. So you are grounded and at peace with the world around you. It's a very positive card. And we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is about enjoying the passions of life. It doesn't necessarily represent wealth, although it can do, but it's taking pleasure in the material world and acknowledging how the right choices led to necessary actions. Or the right thoughts leading to necessary actions that help manifest this beautiful garden that this figure is in, communing with nature and just being at ease with herself. This is knowing and accepting your gifts, and it's a sense of an evolved self. Being grounded in reality is where we're headed. And then we got the Sun card, which is wonderful. Be alive, bask in the light of the sun. This is success after a struggle. This represents energy and vitality, and perhaps divine invitations, divine intervention, which the energies that play with this full moon are really highlighting. I hope this full moon treats you well, and I don't know why there's something, some energies stuck in my heart that want to come out. This Mars might bring up some conflict. We might get the Ten of Swords upright. We may be feeling frustrated. It's retrograde. The Four of Cups. We may feel stagnant with Death in reverse, of not wanting to break out of our old habits, and then lashing out at ourselves and those around us. And be mindful of whatever comes up during this full moon, because it's always a good things to note about where you need to look, and what will help you release some of that stuck energy in your body that then can help lead to this space of the sun. Sending all my blessings, and I hope you enjoy it. Please, if anyone wants to write down what they've experienced over that full moon, I would really love to hear that and see that. Sending you all of my love.